Hi and welcome back to my playthrough of Dungeon Degenerates, and we are currently playing the second scenario, Loot and Pillage. Actually, I promised you a fight, but that fight is not gonna happen because one thing that I forgot to do when I was fighting the guys here at the East Bridge at the end of the last round or the round before that, I should also have reduced the danger level of the current space by 1. So at that point in time it went down 1, and now it went up pretty much, and now we are back at this danger level here, which also means that this doesn't trigger because right now the danger level in our location is lower than the danger level on this card. So in this case, the fight against the Wolfman and the Worms guard here, and we have the Mega Rat and the Vampire Thrall, was nothing but a bad dream, unfortunately. So really terribly sorry if you were looking forward to a fight. Yeah, that's not gonna happen at this point in time. Pretty sure we may encounter some more enemies, yeah, sometime during this episode, but for now I will reshuffle those guys back to the appropriate deck. So we also shouldn't have triggered the encounter card, but that's something that happened, but it didn't really change a thing. So I think no real harm was done, and thanks so much, Eric, for making me aware, so we can simply discard this danger card and yeah, start our next round. And the idea is to move those guys up to the watchtower now, because we have our clue counter here. And originally I was really under the impression that East Bridge and watchtower are somewhat connected, but when I really take this road here, let's call it literally, I think you cannot move from the East Bridge directly to the watchtower. I think you have to move through Witch Hill, and then from Witch Hill you can go to the watchtower. I think I will at least play it this way, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, really, if you see the drawing here, and this is really one of the occasions on this map where it's really tough to understand what belongs to what, to be honest. But in order, I don't want to hear from you guys, hey, you have cheated. So in this case, I will simply move now next to the Witch Hill, and then from the Witch Hill, I think I should be able to move directly to the watchtower. Okay, I will do a force march, which means we have to go to the bold stance, and then we have to roll for Constitution again. But first of all, let's move our two folks here to Witch Hill. Now we roll for Constitution. That's an 8 for the Corpse Burner. Yeah, this time he made it. That's good. And then let's do the same for... Oh, awesome! He made it too. Perfect. None of them gets exhausted or fatigued, so we can force march again at the next round. That's really great news, unless we are not taking any other damage in this turn, because next we have to resolve our danger card, and yeah, in this case that's pretty obvious. We will see an encounter. Horrible things lurk amongst the crops, waiting for travelers to set upon and devour amongst the fields. Though they increase the danger level accordingly here, and of course we have to face an encounter here because we are at 5, the danger level of our location. Here it's only a 2, so this will trigger for sure. So we see an encounter and 3 enemies. We are in bold stance, so we cannot even try to evade, but apart from that, we are too far, or the danger levels are too far away from each other anyway. So let's simply draw our encounter card here, and here we will see a trapped stagecoach, but it's not something that we have to resolve immediately, so this is something we will trigger after our fight. So let's have a look at this card when we get there, but instead let's draw our 3 monsters. So here we have the Gravekeeper. He's goblin, so that's something that our Corpse Burner could try to eat when he's defeated. He will go to the Hinterlander with the highest perception. Then we have the Night Witch. She goes to the lowest morale. That's also the Hinterlander. She will also summon someone at the end of the round, so definitely something we should try to get rid of, but not sure if we will manage to do so. And last but not least, we have the Mega Rat again, who goes to the highest agility, which is also the Hinterlander. Wow. Are you kidding me? He really has to deal with 3 enemies this round, and he has the Infect ability, which is definitely something we don't want to happen, to be honest. Okay, let's start our combat. But before we do so, we still have to roll for this curse here, which means the Hinterlander has to pass a magic test of 7 in order not to get, I think, demoralized. 7. Awesome job, really great. The Hinterlander is my man for sure. And then we really can start fighting. With 3 enemies, he really has to go into guard stance in order to try to defend. Apart from that, I think he's not rolling anything particular. No, simple roll of attack, defense and 1 power die. So again, let's hope for the best. And okay, he defended, which is cool. He also hit, but only with 2 points. And I should have really mentioned, but the idea was really to take out the Night Witch here because of her summon ability. I really want to avoid seeing another enemy. So he's not taking a hit from the Night Witch. Here he has a 6 because he has the Berserk ability. He has a 5. So in theory he takes 1 hit here, 2 hits here, but his power die is a 6. So he can now subtract 6 from all of those attacks, which is so important for the Mega Red here. For the Berserk doesn't really make a big of a difference, but here getting infected is definitely a bad thing. So he's not taking any wounds. And on top of this, he could now decide to reroll his die. But I think for now, he's feeling kind of okay. So he will assign this die here to the Night Witch, who takes 2 points worth of damage. Unfortunately, she still needs 4 more wounds. Good thing is, we still have the Corpse Burner. He can totally go to the assault stance. And because it's his first round of combat, he can trigger his quick action here. If it's your first turn after entering a fight, which it is, you may roll an additional power die when using a strength attack this turn. And this is what he will do for sure. And he will also try to get after the Night Witch. So let's see what he rolls. Are you kidding me? Oh man, this was so bad. A 9, he needed an 8, so he was not able to hit the Night Witch, and his power die wasn't even higher. He cannot re-roll because he's out of luck. Yeah, that was not looking good, which means the Night Witch will summon another character, and this is the Pumpkinhead. Halloween. Okay, he has the Horde ability Heretic. The Night Witch is a heretic character, so he gets a strength +1. Pretty much he goes after the highest moral character, which in this case is the Corpse Burner, so he also gets something to do, but that's about it. It could have been worse. But let's move into the second round of combat. The Hinterlander will stick to his guard stance. So let's roll some dice here. Again, he will go after the Night Witch in order to get rid of her. Yeah, he was not successful. He rolls a 7, which is okay. So he defended from most of those guys, but he will definitely take a hit from the Mega Red this turn. Oh, this is bad. Yeah, he takes a wound, which is per se not that big of a deal. The problem is he got the wound from the Mega Rat, so he gets infected, and this means he cannot recover any wounds. So if you die or get defeated while being infected and no one else is able to heal you through, I don't know, potion or something like that, you die, and then you're out of the game. Okay, and then it's the Corpse Burner. He has to attack the Pumpkinhead now because he has to face his enemies. He will stick to the assault stance, I think. Keep in mind he has the Horde, so he has an attack of 5 and also health points worth of 5 points. So let's see what we roll. He managed to defend successfully. He also managed to attack. This power die is really not worth mentioning. So he has a 3. He attacks with 5. So the Corpse Burner takes 2 points worth of damage, but he also inflicts 4. And I think this is still a remain from the last fight. So he's now at 4 wounds, if I'm not mistaken. That 1 wound short. He cannot reroll any dice whatsoever. So we have to live with that result. So yeah, let's move into the next round of combat. The Hinterlander will stick to his guard stance. Yeah, with 3 enemies you have to do that. He will still attack the Witch, and now this time he really blew it. Okay, this is now really a problem. He managed to hit, that's good, but he didn't manage to defend. And I think in this case he really has to spend, because otherwise he's taking a lot of damage. So let's spend 1 luck. Let's re-roll that 6 here. That's the problem. No, and he's rolling a 6 again, and he's out of luck. Now I'm rolling high. Can you believe that? Yeah, there's really nothing we can do about it. We are out of luck, and yeah, we have to face the hits here. And in this case, he can only assign the power dice because his guard stands to one of those enemies, and it's only a 1. So it doesn't really matter to which of the characters he assigns this, because yeah, see for yourself. He takes it. So let's go for him. So he will deal 4 points of damage, 4 points of damage, 4 points of damage. So that's 12 points of damage in total. That's really serious. So he's now up to 13 wounds in total. Good thing is he was able to hit the Night Witch, which means she is defeated for now, which also means the Pumpkinhead no longer can use the Horde ability because there are no other heretic characters alive. And then it's the Corpse Burner. He will have to fight against the Pumpkinhead again. 8, 7, 1. Perfect roll. He's not getting any hits whatsoever. He managed to hit him with a strength point. So the Pumpkinhead is also dead and gone. Then it's a new round and we have the Hinterlander, and in theory he could try to escape from the fight. The problem is he has to pass an agility test. This is something that's relatively likely, but he still has to defend from both of those guys again, so he has to roll a defense roll anyway. So I think it's not really worth it. So he can also stay and fight, to be honest, because then maybe the Corpse Burner will be able to take out the other character or so. So here I'm really not sure. So in theory he has to survive 2 more rounds of combat at least if he rolls well enough. But I think if he wouldn't have been infected, it would have been clear he would simply stick or stay where he is and fight until the bitter end. But right now he cannot really heal. This little token is really a problem because, again, you cannot recover wounds. If you would rest and still had some life points left, that's fine, so he can get rid of it and then maybe rest again in order to regain some hit points. That's fine. But if you are defeated, so lose all your health points, and the subsequent round, during your next map action phase, you cannot recover any wounds, and while being defeated, you are out of the game and die. And this is really, really a risk, but I think I will take it anyway, because again, he still needs to first escape and then he still needs to roll high enough not to take another set of wounds. So it doesn't really make a big of a difference. So yeah, we might as well fight. And I think that's good enough. That's good enough. Awesome. Yeah, he managed to do so. I maybe should have mentioned, but it doesn't really make a difference. Let's go for the Gravekeeper here. But first of all, he rolled a 5. This is his highest defense roll. That's a 5. That's a 4. Perfect. He's not taking any more wounds. Yeah, this power die doesn't do him any good, but he inflicted 3 points worth of damage. Yeah, now I sign it. So this guy takes 2 wounds, which is kind of okay, but again, doesn't really make a big of a difference. He has 5 health points, he has 4 health points and an armor. Again, doesn't change a thing. And next would be the Corpse Burner. I think you really want to get rid of enemies. That's really important. So let's go. He rolls a higher attack. Maybe I should have gone for the Mega Red in this case. But yeah, I announced it. I will not take it back. So yeah, but we still need to get after this Gravekeeper here. So it's the Corpse Burner. Of course, he will stick to his assault stance. He's looking for an 8 or less. That's an 8. Perfect. 5 would be better, but it's definitely good enough to take out the Gravekeeper. He rolled a 4 as his highest attack die, -1, that's 3. Definitely good enough to kill the Gravekeeper. So it will be a trophy for the Corpse Burner. And then the Hinterlander still has to survive 1 final attack. And yeah, let's stick to the guard stance. I think that's really important because the power die again may make the big difference here. Let's roll again. I think that's good enough. It's tough, but it's definitely good enough. So he defeated successfully. He can subtract 3 wounds from the 5 attack here, which means he takes 2 more wounds. Wow, that's so incredibly close. But he also successfully hit the Mega Red for 5 points worth of damage. So he was able to take it out according. So the fight is over. And this was really, really close. Wow, awesome. Okay, let's do some looting. He gets 3 experience points and 2 points worth of gold. So 1, 2, and 3, and 2 pieces of gold. Let's do the loot roll. So we are looking for a 3 or less. Nope, that's a 6 again. Oh no, I'm rolling good. But that's okay. That's okay. Not complaining about this. And here we have the corpse burner with 2 XPs and 2 pieces of gold. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2. Can he's out of luck. He was, oh yeah, when you win a fight, if you destroyed any undead, which he did, the Gravekeeper, he can now do a moral test, and if he would pass, he gains 1 luck. Awesome. I really shouldn't forget those special abilities here. So we are looking for an 8 or less. 7, perfect. He gains 1 luck back, which is really, really awesome. Great job. We can still make our loot roll. We are looking for a 2 or less now. And nope, that's another 6. So we can simply give those guys to the discard pile. And then we have to deal with our encounter here, the trapped stagecoach. Your enemies were stalking a small group of travelers whose stagecoach is trapped in the mud. The party may help the travelers shift the wheels out of the mud, ignore them, or slaughter them and plunder the coach. Interesting. I think our mission is something about looting and pillaging. So I think, yeah, we just escaped from prison. So I think thematically it would make sense to plunder those guys here. Why not? Let's plunder the stagecoach. Each adventurer in the party gains D6 plus 1 gold, and then we would increase the bounty level. Yeah, why not? So let's start with the corpse burner. That's 4 pieces of gold. Not complaining about this. Here we have the Hinterlander. Oh, come on. Only 2 pieces of gold. Next we have to increase the bounty level, and we still have to reduce the danger level here at Witch Hill because we successfully fought some enemies. Then we can get rid of this card, and we can also get rid of our encounter card. And I guess next we can start our next round. We are both not fatigued, and the danger level is 3 here, and only a 4 here and only a 3 there. So it still may be a good idea not to rest here at Witch Hill, but really move to the watchtower instead and do our rest there. So we have to stick to the bold stance. Yeah, let's do that. And I really hope that I make this right here. So we will move to the watchtower next. Let's roll for our constitution. That's 9. Oh man, not good enough. So again, he gets fatigued. Let's do the same for the Hinterlander. Wow, that's a 12. No, definitely not. So he also gets fatigued. But yeah, I think he has to rest anyway. Both of the characters have to rest anyway. But this is something that I want to do at the start of my next round, because again, the danger level is definitely lower here at the watchtower. Okie dokie, then we have to resolve our danger card. What do we get? I think that's fine. It's not a lost space. No, we are not encountering anything here. They say by moonlight you can see spectral witches dancing and cackling in the ghostly flames high atop haunted Witch Hill. Oh, which is really a pity, because we just decreased the danger level, but now the danger level goes back to 5. But that's about it for this round, because again we would only let's say encounter something. This would have been a lost space, and then we would still need a high bounty level. Right now our bounty level is a 4, so this doesn't trigger anyway. So let's get rid of this card. I think again we will keep the party together. We will stick to the bold stance now, I think. Yeah, let's do that, because we also want to explore this clue token here. You can only do that if you are in bold stance. But of course we will still announce a rest action for the whole party. So let's start with a corpse burner here. He has to roll for his recovery. He's rolling a moral test, but I think he should be able to do that anyway. He passed, so he can pretty much heal up to his moral value, which is an 8. He can get rid of the fatigue token here. In theory, the Hinterlander also needs to roll, but because he cannot heal any wounds, we can also skip this, but this means we can now get rid of both of those tokens. So he's no longer infected. So if he now gets defeated, he can be revived pretty much, or he can then rest at the start of the next one. Really getting rid of this infected token was the most important piece. And next we want to do our perception test in order to explore. If I'm now successful, I can flip this token, and then I will compare the dice to the value that's shown here. But first of all, I have to pass the test here. Now it's really a pity that I'm half blind, because normally I would have been successful with a 9 or lower. Now I have to hope for an 8, which is good enough. Awesome. So that's a 5 and a 1. So we were able to make this perception test, and this allows us to flip this token. That's only a 1. I think that's good news, because we would now compare the highest die to the counter value, which is only a 1 in this case. And if it's higher or equal to, we would take the specific card from the mission tag based on your location. We are at the watchtower, so we would now resolve the treasure trove, which is in one of those cards. So this is our mission pile. It has to be in Highlands encounter, because we are in the Highlands, so it's definitely in this, under this card. So let's resolve it accordingly. We are in inside a location. It's a watchtower. You found a cache of valuables, and you'd better take what you can before someone comes looking for it. You may plunder or ignore the trove. In order to fulfill our mission here, we have to plunder it. Of course, we could move up and ignore this. From what I think, let's call it a day. Let's call it a scenario for now. So we would plunder it. The adventurer with the highest perception in the party may draw an epic loot card. Roll of dice. In this case, it's the Hinterlander. Then each adventurer in the party gains d6 plus 2 gold pieces and increase the danger level in your space. And again, the highest perception is still the Hinterlander with a perception of 8. So he's allowed to draw the epic loot card. So let's have a look at it. And here we found the Morbadicon, which allows us to do something while resting, make a magic test and gain 1 XP if you pass. Wow, that's awesome. But if you would fail, we would lose 1 luck and we would become demoralized. He needs to have a magic of 6 or a moral of 8. It's okay. He has a magic of 7. So he can definitely use this epic loot card here, the relic. Awesome stuff. We can still roll for some additional loot. That's a d6 plus 2, which is cool. So 4 more pieces of gold. So he's going up to 11 points. Awesome stuff. Let's roll for the Hinterlander. That's also 4 more points. So he's at 14 gold points. And you can never have more than 21 gold pieces. So at some point in time, you either want to invest in some of the locations, which is something you can do in order to decrease the danger level. But we still have to increase the danger level in your space because of the treasure trove card. So this clue is now gone. And as we have pretty much fulfilled one of our objectives here, plunder a treasure trove in the Highlands, which we just did, we can now collect our reward. Each adventurer gains 1 luck, and we would remove any law counters that were placed due to the manhunt. If you destroy the caravan, increase the danger level in the foothills and the pigskin port. We did not destroy the caravan because we simply didn't find it. So let's increase the luck, and you can never have more luck than your magic value. But right now his magic is 5, but that's really also so important for the Hinterlander. Really getting a reroll can make or break the scenario for you. Let's see our mission path here. Your mission path is based on which objective you completed. If you wish, you may ignore these opportunities and instead attempt to establish a base somewhere beyond the lowlands. No, I think not. We went through for the treasure trove, so let's read this section here. Thanks to you, commerce has been destabilized in the region, and the merchant guilds are eager to hire new mercenaries brave enough to travel far into the wasteland to establish trade with the goblins and the people of Gutfish Fort. If you decide to enlist with the guildsmen, they hire you as a guard or a scout for the caravan through the Badlands. So this would be our possible scenario. But we could also, if you decline the guild's offer, you begin looking for work on the seedy side of town. Local bandit gangs have taken note of your exploits and they send goons carrying an ultimatum: work for them or get out of town. If you take work from the Riverets, it's time to try your hand at death for hire. If you refuse to work for the gang, increase the danger level at the bandit camp. No, I think let's go for the guildsmen here. So we would now, our next mission would be caravan through the Badlands, which would continue our campaign as of page 10. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the first, or yeah, maybe the second scenario of Dungeon Degenerates. I will make some photos, so I will do a save game of my characters and all of the situation, because what happens when you do or play this game as part of a campaign, you will keep all those danger levels and bounty levels and things like that as they are. Of course, your characters also keep your stats. There's also a nice little campaign record sheet at the back of the rulebook, also very, very colorful, but it really gives you the opportunity to write down everything that you need to write down, which is really, really pretty cool. Of course, you can copy it. You should not write into your rulebook. It's not a legacy game after all. So if you're interested to see more adventurers with the corpse burner and the Hinterlander here, please let me know, and I will definitely consider doing at least a second playthrough going into the next mission. And what was it again? Caravan through the Badlands. And yeah, take it from there. I really hope you enjoyed my little playthrough of Dungeon Degenerates so far. Hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. And yeah, until then, bye bye.